All right, so the pay-per-view numbers have come out for the Fury and Francis Ngannou fight. They've come out, and it's shocking. It's a flop. It's a nightmare. It's the worst pay-per-view ever. Here's what I don't understand, all right? Like, I'm looking through these, right? You know, like, I look through these videos, you know, I'm watching a fair number of them, and I'm sitting here just doing, like, I'm asking myself, like, are people lying or stupid? Like, I honestly, like, I don't know. And I don't know if, I'm not hearing the correct take here. Except actually, candidly, this one, you know. So, oh wait, if I scrolled over, what this says is the terrible pay-per-view numbers were expected. That's what Chael said. You know, here's a bottom line, okay? Like, bottom line. People are saying things about these numbers that are either irrelevant or stupid. And we're going to talk about that. And then I also am definitely going to talk about two other things. Number one being this December 23rd date that they are throwing out for Francis Ngannou to fight against either Parker or this Zhang guy. And I'm going to tell you the reality of that situation for sure. And then I wanted to mention one other thing if I have time. I might forget. Red Pill did a video yesterday where, if I'm not mistaken, he said that Ariel said that Chael was being anti-Semitic. And I skimmed through the video. I didn't see him say that, but what I did see is Ariel doing this this thing about Hamzat Shemaev being friends with Gadirov, and how, like, so we're just supposed to ignore that he's friends with this Chechen dictator? We're just supposed to ignore that and act like that's okay. And I'm like, oh my God. All right, I guess I got to talk about that. I can't help myself. I cannot help myself. So I'm going to talk about that also. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe to the ring bell. As a matter of fact, actually forget about that. What I always say on this channel, and I haven't said it in a while, is if you're going to watch my content, I don't ask for money. I don't ask for anything. All I ask is that you subscribe to the channel. So if you watch, you know, if this is like the third video you've watched, I'm sure you've never heard me say that, but that is the cost that I put out there. It takes 1 second. You just click the button, click subscribe, forget about it forever, and it's really helpful with the algorithm. It seems like a fair trade. If you're going to watch the content, just go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Don't be the guy that's stealing the candy when it's like, here, it's a quarter, and then they just take it and then just walk out. You're like, really, dude? It's a quarter. And this doesn't cost anything. Just click the button. Done with it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for the continued support. All right, so here's where we're going to get into stupid or lying, all right? So the numbers came out, 67,000 buys. Okay, so the takes that people are giving, all right, are that, oh, wow, look at this. I told you Francis cannot draw, all right? And I'm talking, I mean, honestly, I haven't even watched any of those videos. I just know that that's what people are saying because I read my comments. Like, I'm seeing tons of comments that are like, see, I told you, Jesse on Fire, Francis is not a draw. Francis is not a draw. And I'm like, dude, what on earth do the numbers for this event have anything to do with what happens next? I don't, like, how could you, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, are you intentionally being stupid, or are you like lying about how you're looking at this? Because bottom line is the world changed last Saturday. Okay. So the obvious argument, like, so let's say that if we were on debate team and someone was like, all right, now Jesse, debate the fact that those numbers indicate that Francis Ngannou is not a draw and anything he does going forward is also not going to be a draw. I'd be like, okay, well, that's an easy thing to argue. I'd be wrong, but I can argue that pretty easy. And then if they give me the flip side, I can flip the argument. So if I'm supposed to argue that they do matter and that he can never draw, all I would say is I would be like, okay, well, let's just look at historical data. How many times has Francis Ngannou headlined, and how many times has he generated more than X pay-per-views? Never. Let's look at Aljamain Sterling. Anytime he wasn't fighting someone that was a known big draw, how many times did he draw? Never. Okay, and his numbers are very consistent. They never change. This is how big of a draw the guy is. All right. Let's look at Kamaru Usman, who's like kind of like a medium draw, right? Like, his numbers are consistent. Let's look at this guy. The numbers are always consistent. They never jump very much, right? So that's what I would use. If I was on the flip side, I would go, oh, okay, well, that's a great point. Hey, let's look at Nate Diaz. How did he draw? You know, let's look at Conor McGregor starting here. How big of a jump did he? I mean, like, That's obviously not a good example, but you know what I'm saying. Like or let's look at George Masvidal. How well did George Masvidal draw before he took his hiatus? And then he came back, and then after the Ben Askren knockout, how much did he draw then? Okay? There are these rare moments where the world shifts and a guy becomes an incredibly large draw. Now, taking the debate team out of it, because I am definitely on the side of now this guy's going to draw. But, okay, he's not just going to draw on his own. Okay, like it's like Francis Ngannou versus blank is not going to draw on its own. Just like in boxing, that doesn't work for anyone except Canelo right now. Canelo could fight a donkey and it's going to draw pretty good, right? But Tyson Fury also fought last week, okay? Tyson Fury is the biggest star in the heavyweight division since fill in the blank, probably Mike Tyson, right? He also sold 67,000 pay-per-views last week. Are you telling me Tyson Fury's not a heavyweight draw? Compared to who? Who's a bigger heavyweight draw? Right? So it's about who he fights. Because when Tyson Fury fights Usyk, that's going to be a big draw. Usyk can't draw on his own. Tyson Fury versus Usyk will be a big draw. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder was a big draw. When Deontay Wilder fights Blabbity Bloop, he's not going to sell very many pay-per-views either. It's about the matchup. Francis was in a position before last week where it didn't matter who he boxed. He was not going to draw, period. Now he's in a position where if he fights the right guy, he will. And he'll draw big. If he fights Tyson Fury in a rematch, that will do huge numbers because now he shocked the world. It's all about the anticipation of what the fight is going to be. Okay? No one thought he had a prayer. Everyone's like, this is stupid. It was a marketing vehicle for Tyson Fury because he was going to fight Usyk afterwards. That's what this event was. That's what it was. It was like, they know they're going to lose money, but they're going to generate hype for the Usyk fight. Right? I mean, I don't see how else you could read it. It's not like Francis made that much money. It's not like they had this enormous nut they had to cover, right? So now, after what happened, now you have genuine curiosity and emotional attachment to what Francis is going to do. His next fight's going to be huge, okay? If he fights Tyson Fury, that'll be huge. If he fights Deontay Wilder, that'll be big. Not as big as Tyson Fury, but it'll be big. If he fights Anthony Joshua, I think that's huge. Huge. If they do Rumble in the Jungle, I talked about this in a previous video, but I want to talk about one thing. If you go watch a documentary about Rumble in the Jungle and you listen to, think and just hear the chant that they had for Ali, which was Ali, Boomba Way. I think Boomba Way? Boombaye, which means kill or something like that, kill. And so the whole place, 60,000 or maybe, I'm sorry, 80,000 people at this place. The whole place chanting, Ali, Boombaye, Ali, Boombaye. Watch those fucking videos and just imagine Francis Ngannou coming into an African, an African venue like that. Every single person there, every African fan who will be there, and it will be not only filled, the streets will be filled with people. He is literally giving a meaning to all of their lives. He is validating all of their dreams just by being there. I can't even explain. If you haven't been to a lot of live events, it's hard to even try to put yourself there, but I can. And if you've been to a live event and you felt collective energy that's feels like it's gonna just hit critical, there will never be anything like it will be there. That event will be one of the biggest events in the history of the world. Okay, if they do that, if they do any fight with Francis in Africa, I really think Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua, that's the one, dude, or either of those two. So those will be huge, which brings me to him getting offered this December 23rd date. Do you understand how fucking stupid it would be for him to take that? Don't do it. You don't need to do that. Okay? Now, would it be helpful to him if he goes out and starches one of these guys? Sure. But how helpful? If he goes out and he wins but doesn't look that good, he already has a shitload of hype right now. But he also, so the only outcome that would be great is if he starches a guy in highlight fashion. In boxing, okay? In boxing. That's a tall order. Here's the other problem, though, okay? If he doesn't starch a guy, problems. The other thing is that event is not going to sell. It's not going to sell. No one is, very few people are going to buy that pay-per-view if he fights Parker or Zhang or whatever. And so then it is really going to appear like he can't draw. It won't be true. If they put him with the right guy, absolutely he'll draw. But if he just they're just trying to fill a date, the Saudis are thinking way bigger than Francis's career. These guys, this is all action figures to them. They got a date to fill. They're like, oh, this guy's a draw, whatever. It's not their responsibility to be thinking about the long-term viability and the maximization of the value that Francis can drive for his own brand. That's not their job. They got a date to fill now. Okay? They know they can't put a Deontay Wilder fight together December 23rd, most likely. So they're trying, listen, if they can get Francis to fight Deontay Wilder December 23rd, that's different. If they get Anthony Joshua in there December 23rd, that's different. Anyway, so that is what it is. I don't think that he should do it. I don't think he should do it. Unless it's going to be Tyson Fury, Deontay, or Anthony Joshua. If it's not one of those three, I don't think you should do it. Maybe Andy Ruiz. Anyway, so that's what I think there. Now, just touching on this Ariel thing. Now, I saw Luke Thomas and Gaethje get into it over this exact topic on Twitter. Okay, so Luke Thomas said something about Gadirov, who is the Chechen dictator, who obviously, Khamzat Chimaev is Chechen. Ali Abdelaziz has a relationship with Gadirov. And the thing, one of the things I saw everybody harping on was that Ali Abdelaziz brought Gaethje, Triple C, and Kamaru to Chechnya, and they hung out with Khamzat and Gadirov and all of their people, and they had this great trip, right? And people ask me a bunch of times, would you have gone out there? And I'm like, and I gave the same answer every time. I'm like, if I trusted the host, if I was Ali's guy, and he's like, it's good, dude. It's going to be great. Of course I would go. Why would I not go? So when Luke Thomas and Ariel started harping on this, like I said, Luke got into it with Gaethje. I don't need to hammer Luke Thomas anymore. I went on one of his live streams literally a week ago, and someone was fucking with him still about the shit that I broke his balls about one time months ago, and I'm like, oh my God. So, and I know what that's like. Every time someone does that to him, I guarantee he's like, oh, Jesse on fire, sending these people to fuck with me. I'm not, so I'm going to go light on him here, but I will just acknowledge that when I talk about him and Ariel, this is an opinion that I am absolutely steadfast on, that they're wrong about, dude. Both of them, I'll just talk about Ariel, but Luke Thomas basically said the same thing, and Gaethje fucking lit him up on Twitter about it. Gaethje, who has been to Chechnya, has interacted with Gadirov and all of the Chechen people that they hung out with. Gaethje's been there. This is what I don't understand. One of us is pulling our information from mainstream media. Why have they gained anybody's credit? Why would they have any credibility with anyone? You know what I mean? If you're turning it on cable television, I just assume they're lying all the time because historically they are. You know what I mean? They're always fucking lying. They always have an agenda. Gaethje's been there. Who's a more credible source? So if I find myself disagreeing with someone who I know has no agenda and has been there, I'm going to just listen to them. Anywho, so they got into it there. Then I saw this clip on Red Pill's video yesterday, and it was Ariel's he's like, so we're just supposed to pretend that, we see Khamzat over there with the Chechen dictator, Gadirov. Are we just supposed to pretend that's not going on? We're just supposed to go oh, I guess that's okay. I guess that's fine. And then he tied it to anti-Semitism somehow. And I'm like, he's like, we got to ask ourselves, why are they doing this? Why are they really doing this? It's hey, first of all, I'm 70% Jewish. If you want to pull hey, Izzy, you want to pull my 35 and what? I'm just kidding. I heard such good things about Izzy, who was also in Saudi Arabia, raving positive reviews about Izzy from everybody there. Izzy is good people. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This is the exact same thing. You tell me Kadyrov's a terrible person and you're getting it from mainstream media and then you got someone who was there. I'm talking from people who spent a long period of time with Izzy. They're like, this guy is aces, dude. This is a genuinely fucking super legit guy. So, but nonetheless, like, so obviously I'm not an anti-Semite when one of my parents is full Jewish, the other one's half, okay? Anti-Semitism, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Can't throw that at me, dude. So when I say like someone being critical of Israel's response to whatever being characterized as anti-Semitism is stupid, it is. It's stupid. Now, I'm not even getting involved in like who's right or who's wrong because I'm not stupid enough to think I have any fucking idea. I don't have enough information. Here's what I know. I don't like dead babies. You know? Oh, you guys flew over, paraglided in, and then killed babies? Fuck you. Oh, you guys blew up a building and there were a bunch of babies in there. Fuck you. You know, like my ideology is pretty straightforward. I don't like dead girls. I don't like dead babies. You know? I don't like that. Not a thing I'm a fan of, you know? Oh, you guys rounded them all up and then put them into gas chambers, killing the women and the babies? Sounds pretty evil to me, dude. Oh, we firebombed all of Tokyo and burned the entire city down with women and babies in there. Yeah, that sounds pretty evil. Oh, we dropped a atomic bomb on the city and evaporated all the women and babies there. Yeah, that sounds pretty fucking evil to me, dude. Oh, you're going to tell me about the pop? I don't understand. I don't know any of this. My ideology is straightforward. I don't like dead women and babies. Anywho. But so, this thing with Kadyrov and Ariel's like, I mean, like, we're just supposed to ignore that? It's like, yeah, you are supposed to ignore that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would you have an opinion on that? He's Chechen. Hamzat's Chechen. Are you seriously that stupid that you think that you have an educated opinion on the Chechen leader because the television told you something about him? And you're saying that like you're judging how a Chechen should feel or act around the leader of Chechnya? It's like so fucking dumb. Shut up, dude. You know, like shut the fuck up, man. If you were like, you know, listen, Kadyrov, he's a hero. He's a hero of the people. I'd be like, how would you know? Well, I heard about it from this incredibly unreliable source. Well, I heard he's a disgusting human. He's a blah. How you have no opinion. Shut up, dude. You're talking about a Chechen citizen who was in Chechnya, fled, now has come back. He's obviously very passionate about his Chechen ancestry or whatever, and his citizenship. You're mad at him because he's friends with Kadyrov? Because they're saying that they're supportive of Palestine? It's like, how stupid would it be for someone to be for someone to be angry at an Israeli person being supportive of Israel after they slaughtered 1,900 people? Just shut up. Like, you're not in a position to put like your opinion. Yes. Oh, so we're just supposed to ignore it? Yes. You are not supposed to weigh in on that. You do not have enough information to weigh in on that. Have you ever been to Chechnya? Shut the fuck up, man. Anyway, that's enough. Love you guys. Bye-bye.